What's up, everyone? My name is John Barreca. So today I'm going to do something I'm really uncomfortable with, and that's talk to a camera. Talking to myself. Kind of feel a little foolish. But what I've been thinking about doing, and I'm going to just dive in and do it. For the next year, I want to create a series of quick tip photography videos, starting back to when I bought my first DSLR, the Canon 20D, and talk about the first pivotal thing that I learned about that camera, that's shooting in RAW format. So I'm really uncomfortable. I'm going to try to get better at this, and the videos are going to get better. I'm going to get more comfortable, and I think I've said I'm going to get comfortable, or I've said comfortable way too many times. So like I said, my first DSLR camera was a Canon 20D. Right here. When I first started shooting with this camera, right out of the box, I was using the preset settings, the JPEG format. I was finding I had little control over the image itself. So I discovered I can shoot with a RAW format in this camera. And once I switched over to RAW format and brought it into Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop even, I had so much more control over the quality of that image. I could adjust the white balance, the shading, the shadows, the sharpness. So let's bring a RAW file into Lightroom, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with that flexibility. So Canon 20D, first camera. Okay, so now we're in Lightroom. And I've brought up a picture of my wife that we took a couple weeks ago out on the back deck. I think we were making dinner, and I had the camera in the kitchen with me. And I asked her to go out on the back deck because it was snowing, and I wanted to get a quick picture. I called it my 2-minute portrait session. So as you can see, this photo looks very flat and just not a lot of depth to it and not a lot of color to it. But that's what a RAW file looks like when it comes out of the camera. So don't be discouraged. So once in Lightroom and you're in the develop module, if you click on the upper right there, you'll click on the basic settings. And this is where, as a beginner, you can do a lot right away with your picture. One of the first things I like to do is just to tone down the highlights a little bit, and then I bring up the shadows. There, right about there. Now we've improved the lighting a little bit on this picture. Now with it snowing out, I'm going to crank up the whites to kind of give it that kind of soft look to it. Now it might look like I've done it a little bit too much, but you can also drag down the blacks and it'll kind of give it a little more contrast. So, and then you can also adjust vibrance, saturation, and clarity down in this bottom section. So this picture is far from done being editing, but already you can see how much control you have over that RAW file. Like I said, this video is not going to be about how to use Lightroom. It's not a tutorial. There's a ton of videos out there on how to use Lightroom. It was really more my intent to show you what kind of control you have over RAW files. So let me show you the finished product that I did a couple weeks ago. So let's go back and let's reset. That's what a RAW file looks like out of the camera. So after a little editing and cropping, this is what the final product looked like. So I did a little work on the image itself, being that it was kind of this is a big hat and it was casting shadows over her eyes. I was able to do a little dodging and burning around her eyes to get rid of those shadows. And then I softened up the image a little bit too. So shoot RAW format, bring them into Lightroom or any other RAW file editing software, and experiment with what you can do with those RAW files. I'm telling you, it will change how you approach digital photography. Okay, so we're back. So now that you've seen what a raw file can do, switch your settings over to a raw file and get out there and take some pictures. Take pictures. Lots of pictures. All right, so I promised these would be quick tip videos, so I'm going to wrap it up here. If you like the video, hit the like button below and subscribe below. Thanks, everybody.